Hello guys, Elven Warrior here and welcome to today's video. Today I have got another ultimate beginner's guide, but this time for Skaven. So what we're going to cover today, I'm just going to go over all the basics for you guys, whether you're brand new or whether you have been playing but you don't fully understand everything. I'll try and go over all the basics that I can for each of the factions within the Skaven, so hopefully you'll learn to understand them better. Before we get on into it, guys, please don't forget to like the video, leave a comment, let me know how I'm doing. If you're enjoying the video or if there's things I can improve on, please let me know. Definitely open to suggestions, and also most importantly, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, guys. A lot of people aren't actually subscribers currently, so it doesn't cost you to do anything. To just get that button smashed, you'll be helping the channel out so much, helping to grow. By liking and comment, those things all help the channel as well. Right, let's get on into it. So first and foremost, we're starting off with Queek Headtaker in charge of Clan Moors. So if we click on this settlement, you see this comes up in this bottom left corner. So this is the growth. So what happens here is that basically you've got to accumulate growth, reach the target amount, and basically you'll get a population surplus. And what you do with this, you then spend it on upgrading your settlements. So yeah, it's a really essential thing. The next bit, tax province. So what this does is basically you can toggle this, and this is to basically tax your province. If you tax it, you earn money, you incur a tax penalty. But if you untax it, you don't earn money, and the tax penalty goes away. Simple as that, really. Corruption. Okay, so Skaven are a strange faction where they like Skaven Corruption because they cause it, and also they don't mind Untainted. So basically they can have a combination of both in their regions. But for them to access things like basically they get access to extra units via the food mechanic, but the more Skaven Corruption there is, the more access, the more of them they get when they're in, especially if they spread it into other areas that they're attacking. They get Menace Below's the call. There we go, it slipped my mind for a minute then. Basically, if we get Skaven Corruption over here or over here, we can then, like, when we go to attack them, we get more access to free Menace Below's. So, okay. Province effects. So basically, region control. So this goes off your public order. So the worse your public order gets, the more like penalties you suffer, like to your growth, to building cost, recruitment cost. But you do get an increased like bonus to public order, and that's because it's trying to like balance it out. It doesn't want you to like spiral to rebellion quick, so you're not getting constant rebellions. And then it goes the other way as well. So when it goes into the positive, you get positive things to your growth, recruitment cost, building cost, extra recruitment capacity, and basically you get a negative public order. So again, for the same thing, they don't want you staying at basically positive public order all the time. Obviously they just want it to be kind of in the middle. So the next thing, so once you've completed the province, you've gained these two, well, you've gained this settlement to complete it, you're able to issue a commandment. So the first one they've got is explorative planning. So they get extra food, 2 per turn, which I'll go over what the food is in a minute. Skaven Corruption, +3 per in the local province. Martial planning, recruitment cost -5%, local recruitment capacity +1. Expansionist planning, construction cost -10%, all buildings, growth +20. It's a really good one to get. Efficient planning, public order +3, untainted +2, local province. So how that untainted works, and I think it'll work for the Skaven as well, is that you will get that per each settlement. So that says +2, that's +2 per settlement. So when you issue that, it will say here, when you come to look at it, it will say +4. So that's how that works. So over here, so this button here that's already clicked, this is your settlement overview. So you can just quickly just hover over here and decide like what you want to build. It's just nice and easy, nice and compact. Yeah, you just get to see a lot of things. Well, you just get to see what buildings and everything's there. The next button, garrison details. So this shows you the strength of your walls. So green is good, hover over it, it tells you the percentage. There's like orange is like it's slightly damaged, and red is like ruined, there's more breaches in it. So if you hover over your garrison, you get to see what is inside and also what their condition is. As you can see, I'm hovering over and you can see the green health bar. They're all at full health. Obviously, start the game, so yeah. Once you confederate though, just be careful, because whatever faction you do confederate, whatever regions you inherit, all their settlements will be reduced garrison strength, and it'll take the period of the 5 turns for them to recover. So you've just got to bear that in mind when you do confederate, because if you confederate near enemies, you're going to say goodbye to them settlements because you're going to lose them. The next button is the building browser. So you click this, it's just a more detailed version of this, of just hovering over it. You can literally just easily plan what you're going to do for this settlement. You've got, you know, oh, I've got 6 slots here, so I need to make sure I've got this there. I need to make sure I've got that. I need to make sure walls. You can plan it really easily. It's really, really good. Useful button to use. The next button, recruit lords. So there's 4 lord choices to choose from, and also if you do have a legendary lord who's not being used, there'll be another option for that. So they have graces of ruin and plague, different ones there. They've got a master assassin, warlock master, and a warlord. And as you can see, it's the same as the dark elves. They suffer from loyalty issues. So basically, if the loyalty gets too low, then that lord and army, whatever's with him, will defect. Even if he doesn't have an army, he has a chance to gain an army. So be careful. It's very, very dangerous. Okay, so the next button, recruit hero. So the Skaven, I believe, currently have the most amount of heroes to be able to choose from. So they have an assassin, chieftain, sorcerer, packmaster, and warlock engineers. So they've got a fair choice to choose from, and it's just a random trait that is generated here. So that's everything there. So if you just come up here, you'll see that this is the treasury. This is the amount you've got available to spend. This is the amount that you will gain next turn. This is predicted income you will gain next turn. This button here is your treasury button. This gives you a more detailed summary over it. If you were trading, you'd be able to click that button. You'd be able to see who you're trading with. You'll be able to see all the things that you can trade, and it'll be highlighted the items that you've got. And also you'll be able to hover over to see how much each item is worth, and you can see what you're exporting, what you're importing, and stuff like that. There's all sorts of details. If you want to see further details, click the details button, and it goes even more in depth if you're into that kind of thing. Okay, so you'll notice this other thing up here. So the Skaven have a food mechanic. So basically, every time you recruit an army, they consume food. So this takes up 1 food. You recruit another one, obviously keeps adding on. And basically what happens here, you've got to gain enough food. So you can see I've got 52 out of 105 food. So I have a capacity of 105 food. You can increase that through technology and buildings. And basically, yeah, so we're at 49% capacity there. And it breaks down what we've got it from, what we've spent it on. So currently we're in the middle. We're at +3 growth all provinces. If we were to go down, you start getting negatives. So it's just ever slightly, and then it gets worse. Okay, but if you were to go the other way, you just get positives. So ideally try and stay into the positives, but with how the food mechanic works, basically when a Skaven attacks a settlement or goes to a ruin, you can actually increase the rank of the settlement. So for a minor settlement, you could buff it straight up to tier 3 for 40 food. So whereas the next jump, so if you come to a major settlement, you could buff it to tier 4 for 80 food. And to get to tier 5, it costs 120 food. So obviously we don't have capacity for that yet anyway. So you can't do tier 5 just yet. But yeah, it'll literally... And the way to earn food is by fighting battles and raiding. And also, like we said, this commandment, we generate 2 food per turn passively as long as you control this region. So that's how the food mechanic works. Okay, so if you come down here, we've got the objectives button. So if you click on that, it shows you exactly what the victory conditions are, and this is the long campaign. So you'll see everything that you've got to do to achieve the long campaign victory. There's the button here. This is for short campaign victory. So things you just not got to do as much this time. Click on this button here. This is your chapter objectives. So you get given this from the start of the game, and it's just objectives just to get you going, really, get you moving. And then you can see here, you get a bit of gold there, and we've got bonus objectives. So extra things that you can do to earn more gold for when you complete it. So you have to do these bonus objectives before you complete this one. Otherwise, whatever ones you've completed, whether it be one or none or more, you'll get that amount for what you've completed added on to that. So there's your objectives. Next button, diplomacy. So you'll click onto this, and what happens here, you'll be given this screen. So you'll be able to browse through all the known factions that you have met, like you currently can see so far. So you can get agreements with them. So as you can see there, that's green, so likelihood that we'll be able to get that is high, and it tells you their likelihood of success. If we were to, let's just say, ask for some money, changes to moderate. If we ask for too much money, it would go to low. So you could do stuff like that. Like, this means that you cannot trade. This means you can trade, but obviously they probably won't be able to get a trade agreement, and it will go green like this if you are trading with them. So just pay attention to this as well. The reliability, very high. You need to try and keep it at very high, because if you get to very low, then basically doing diplomacy is just a no-go. You won't be able to do anything. People will break their agreements with you, and you'll just find it impossible to do any diplomatic stuff, full stop. So try and keep it at least high or very high. That's definitely what I recommend. Next button, technology. So the Skaven technologies require buildings to unlock. Luckily, it's only like 1 turn and 2 turns, something like that, for the buildings to unlock it. So, and then once you've unlocked it, you can just start working your way through them. And also, like, further on, you need other buildings as well to be able to unlock further. Also, you've got your research rate. There's things you can do to increase your research rate. So it's recommended to do so you can obviously get through your technology quicker. The next button is your rights. So these, as you can see, none of them are unlocked. You've got to do certain things before you unlock them. Okay, so once you've unlocked them, you're able to pay, as long as you've got the money, you can pay this amount of gold to have it for this amount of turns, 5 turns, and then it cools down for 15 turns once you've performed it. So each one's different cost, and sometimes these are the same because it's 2 unique heroes. So that's pretty much the rights. Okay, this next button is Skaven Corruption. So if you click on it, it just shows you this here, so you can see what the Skaven Corruption's like. So ideally, you need a bit of Skaven Corruption. So there's next to none, and as you can see there, there's none over there. You can also do it for Untainted, so very high Untainted over there and slightly high here. So yeah, that's that. So on that matter, the Skaven have access to Undercities. Okay, so this is Carrick 8 Peaks. So this is the settlement itself, but you see this little tiny button here, this is our Undercity. Okay, so what you can do here, you can, by using the Warlock Engineer, who can go establish an Undercity, he can just travel, go establish an Undercity somewhere, and then he dies, and then basically it'll be like this, and then you're able to like build various things there that either earn you money, generate food, conceal the Undercity further, or you can do stuff that can overtake the settlement. So I think it's this, the Vermintide. You can then declare war on them, and the Undercity, and then basically you can fight for the settlement and stuff like that. There's various things you can do with it. It's very interesting. Because like, for one thing I'd like to do, you could build that. You build that. This generates 1 food. This costs 1 food, but it earns you more money. So if that sits there, it'll more than like just earn its upkeep, and then I would probably build that as well. No, I probably wouldn't build that because that costs money. But yeah, once this starts earning more money, then you could build them down, build them just to like reduce this. This is your detection bar. Once it gets up, this is when you get detected, and they can basically destroy the Undercity. Okay, so there's the Undercities. So let's just go over here. So this is the mini map. So you can navigate it. The bits that are visible are obviously all you can see. This button up here is for missions and quests. So whenever you get a quest or a mission to do something, so like for some of his like magic items, his specific equipment for Queek, it will appear up there and you can just view what you need to do. The next button is for events. So basically click that, anything that's happened over the end turn, diplomacy wise, anything that's happened, you'll be able to view that there. The next button for Lord and Heroes. So any Lord and Hero that you have available, either to recruit, basically you'll be able to see them there. Apart from heroes, basically if you disband a hero, you will not be able to get that hero back because you effectively kill them if you disband them. So be careful with that. I know people can forget that or mistake it. Until they get immortality, then you can disband them, but then they will return in 5 turns. So you'll still see them there. Okay, so the next button is for provinces. So basically this is our province, and with how it is, it's a contested province because the greenskins have this one. If we were to complete the province, it would have our faction symbol next to it instead of this red cracked building. You can see there's a little hammer there, it just signifying saying that we're able to build something, and now that'll go away. It shows you what the public order is like and the income as well. Okay, so this one is known factions. So this is just another like more convenient bit for diplomacy, just so you can see who likes you, whether you can trade, and what their strength ranking is, and whether you're at war with them. So various different things there. So this is the faction summary. So his faction summary is Monstrous Ego. He has loyalty -2 for Greyseer recruits. Queek Headtaker steals a percentage of XP earned by other lords, and he has a hero capacity +2 for chieftains. So if you click on it, you see all sorts of details further. So you get to see where his capital is, how many provinces owned, how many settlements owned, what the treasury is, predicted income, and also other faction effects as well. So you can see his suitable climates. So he's got quite a few that basically they'll have a green ring around, which means they're suitable. And basically if they're unpleasant, they'll have an orange ring, and if they're uninhabitable, they'll have a red ring. So basically from the unpleasant, you'll get like a small punishment for like being there, or and then the red ones you'll have a major like punishment, like public order -3 per settlement, increased recruitment time and cost and stuff like that. So it tells you your faction power over here, how many armies you've got available, how many capacity for heroes you've got, and how many you have currently. And then just another diplomacy bit. It's just showing you what allies you've got, who you're at war with, and who you are trading with. Okay, so on to faction mechanics now. So Queek's faction mechanic, what he has is Karak 8 Peaks. That's why we've got an Undercity there. That's why you can see it. This is his focus. You will suffer -2 public order or provinces until you control Karak 8 Peaks. So he has, I believe he's got a special build in there that he can build and stuff like that. So it's all about getting there to him. So there's another 2 factions that are the same as that, but not Skaven ones. They're all basically contesting over that. So that's pretty much it for Queek. So we will move on to the next Lord. Okay, so the next faction we are going to cover is Lord Skrolk and Clan Pestilens. So his faction summary is Radiant Corruption. So chance of plague spreading by 100%. Plagues bolster your forces and nurture your settlements. He has a construction cost of 50% reduction for Pox Cauldron, Pestilent Nave, and Plague Bailey buildings, and he has a right cooldown of 15 turns for Pestilens scheme. So that's pretty much it for his faction stuff. Basically, yeah, so he spreads the plague, he loves the plague, and so he basically benefits from the plague, whereas any other faction in the game, they don't like the plague. They'll suffer attritions and negative effects. He's probably the only faction that doesn't, because they're the ones that are spreading it, basically. So yeah, because him and Queek are basically the base factions from the Warhammer 2 game, they're the original ones, so there's nothing much really special about them, to be fair. So that's about it. We'll swiftly move on to the next Lord faction. Next up, Tretch Craventail in charge of Clan Rictus. So as you can see, he starts off in Nagaroth, surrounded by Dark Elves. So his faction summary: the Grand Chieftain of the Deep Warrens. So Scurry Away has improved effect and grants minor ward save while active. Attribute: encourage for storm vermin units. He has public order +4 whenever a diplomatic treaty is broken, and he gets recruit rank +3 for storm vermin units. So there's nothing much special about Tretch. He's a 3LC Lord. So the only thing that got added in for him is that he gained an Undercity where he's supposed to basically belong. He's supposed to be over here in the lore, so he's just got an Undercity to which he could potentially eventually overthrow and come back this way. So yeah, that's pretty much it about Tretch. Like I said, there's nothing special. He's a 3LC Lord. He didn't really get given any special mechanics, so we'll swiftly move on to the next faction. Okay, next up is the Chief Warlock Master himself, Ikit Claw. So if you've chosen to do an Ikit Claw campaign, it is definitely one of the most fun campaigns to do in the game. So I'll just go over his faction summary. So Chief Warlock Engineer. He has access to the Clan Skryre Forbidden Workshop. He has research rate +20%, +2 loyalty for new recruits, and construction cost -40% for engineering buildings. Okay, so his faction mechanic here is brilliant. So you just notice up here, so he can gain warp fuel. It's like a little resource that he gains, and he can use it for certain things, which we'll get to in a minute. And he can also build warp storm doom rockets. So powerful, they literally obliterate units in matter of seconds, and it also one-shots legendary lords as well. If they're literally in the nucleus of it, it one-shots them. They just disappear, deletes them from the game. So over here, you just see the Forbidden Workshop. I can't stress enough how amazing this is. You use a combination of warp fuel and food, so make sure you need plenty of both to do various things. You can upgrade this unit, the Doomflayers, and then the further you go, you get extra stuff. The more upgrades you do, the more this bar fills up, and then you'll gain access to these. You can also do Doom Wheels. Same again, the more you upgrade this, the more you can come up this way, get extra stuff. This is definitely the one that you want to go for. Weapons teams. Rattling guns, Warplock Jezzails are amazing. Two of the best units in the game. So this, where is it? This one here. You can get this pretty much straight away. Endless drums. And basically they replenish. When they start to run low, they replenish ammunition. So basically they could potentially never run out of ammunition. It is fantastic. Such a great ability to have on this unit. And the Warlock Jezzails have such a long range. They can just kill things with ease. And then this is where you build your Doom Rockets from. So you can do extra stuff. You get extra upgrades here. Choosing like various benefits that will happen. And obviously by doing this you can build one. And then you have a cooldown of 5 turns before you can build another one. So yeah, it's such a powerful faction. Such a fun one to have such a good time with. So yeah, definitely have fun with this one if you manage to play it. So we'll move on to the next faction now. Next up, we have Deathmaster Snickich in charge of Clan Eshin. So His faction summary is Chief Assassin of Clan Eshin. He has access to Clan Eshin shadowy dealings actions. Recruitment costs 200% for all non-Eshin units. Clan loyalty, Eshin lords never defect. So that's a fantastic trait for the Skaven to have. Night runners and gutter runner units use armor piercing warp infused projectiles. Okay, so as you can see, up here is a lot different. So this is his schemes available. So he's got a scheme available. You can also see the other clans. You're able to get basically meet with them quickly. So if you open this up, this brings up the shadowy dealings. So I believe you can do it from there, and you can do it from there. So there's two ways you can bring this menu up. So you got Eshin actions, so you can do all sorts of things. So Night Lords say so. So you click on that, you'll choose a lord to do so, and then he will basically disappear off, and he'll be back in 2 turns, and he'll gain experience and stuff like that. And then the more of these you gain, the more things that you can do, until you get to this one, Plunge into Anarchy. Is fantastic. You literally can destroy the whichever faction's number 1. You could literally make them disappear in the click of a button. And yeah, but the cooldown is like 100 turns or so. So it's really good. You get to do clan contracts, so you'll get missions come in from the 4 major clans, and basically you'll gain favor with them. By gaining favor, you get like positives. If you go down, obviously you get negatives, diplomatic and food like reductions and stuff like that, where each one has different things. Like this is research rate, that's food generated all armies, melee defense as well, that's armor, construction cost, physical resistance, and this one's public order, weapon strength. So all good. It is possible to get them all positive. You've just got to make sure you balance out the contracts, because usually it's against one another and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty good. So hopefully have fun with that one. This is definitely another good faction to play as. So we will move on to the final one of this video now. Finally, we have Throt the Unclean of Clan Moulder. So his faction mechanic: splice, mutate, multiply, destroy. His suitable climate is frozen, has access to the Clan Moulder Flesh Laboratory. All characters have 10% extra hit points. He's immune to mountain attrition, and he has construction cost reduction 50% for breeding stock, pits of Packmaster, force feeding chambers, and laboratory buildings. So his mechanic, you can see up here, you can get access to basically just units. You acquire growth juice over time by doing certain things, recycling units, buildings, passively gain, battles, everything like that. And then this is the unit that you'll get this time, and then you can claim them. If you come to this button down here, this is the Flesh Laboratory. So what you can do, you can basically augment all your infantry, your monsters, and you can also create other stuff as well. So it's absolutely crazy what you can do with this. It's just unreal. So you can so for instance, these storm vermin there, you can give these an upgrade. So you can give them frenzy, you can give them magic resistance or armor, vanguard deployment and stalk. So give them that. But also, the more upgrades you try to put on them, the more unstable they have, the more chance of becoming unstable. So for instance, let's just, how many have we got? 75. So let's go. We've got 2. We can, so you've got to do 2 to get up to there. So let's just try again. There you go. That's happened. They're now unstable. So basically they have the chance of basically blowing up. They just cause severe damage to themselves. So it's not good when you do that, but it is good when you can go through and put in lots of upgrades on them. You can get them really powerful, some of them. But yeah, you can do the same with like the monsters as well. So these are already unstable, so you could just recycle by doing that, and you'll get extra juice. And then let's just say, let's go, let's just do that. Let's put that on them. We've run out of the growth juice now, so yeah, just all sorts you can do with them. It's fantastic. So there you go. There's that video done for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's been of some use to you. Please let me know in the comments what you thought, and whether you think it's been useful, or whether there's anything that I need to improve or missed out. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, guys. A lot of the viewers aren't currently subscribers, so you'll be doing a huge favour by doing so. You'll be helping the channel to grow. Be very, very much appreciated. And stay tuned, and I'll see you all for the next video.